let me start off by saying that I am not going to be talking about any kind of spoilers at all.
Yeah,
I just want you to
yeah,
let
you
you
should.
know I'm not, no spoilers. But there are some concerns, not about the game. I'm not going to try to allude to anything that I've seen. I'm not going to talk about Neil Druckmann. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. The point I'm trying to make is that you put yourself in a situation when you have a storyline driven game that stuff like this will happen, and you're going to have more merit. You're going to need more merit than just a good story. And that was my biggest problem with Naughty Dog as of late. All the way stemming back to the Uncharted series. They got into this thing where they just focused on story and set pieces. And it's cool to actually have these stories and set pieces in play, but you got to have something else. They had multiplayer at least. So if anything happened, at least you can rely on the multiplayer. The problem that I have with Naughty Dog games in general is that it's not the story, because they have really good stories, really good acting. Um, the problem that I really have with their games is that it's so linear. There's no kind of extra fluff to it. It's so story driven that you can't go back and improve gameplay. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if, for instance, if Red Dead Redemption got leaked or Grand Theft Auto got leaked, it wouldn't affect anything. You know what I'm saying? That's the
Hmm.
problem. I mean, yeah, it would affect the story, but Grand Theft Auto is more than just the story. It has gameplay elements where, like, okay, so if it's leaked, it is what it is. That's not the case with Naughty Dog games. That's the problem with their games. Now, the second thing I wanted to actually talk about, because again, I mentioned again, there's not going to be any spoilers in here. I did see the stuff that was leaked. And just like I did with Death Stranding, I will not be giving out any spoilers. No spoilers. But I wanted to let you guys know that who are fans with it, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. But you do need to realize in the future that you cannot rely on story. Gameplay is important. You're playing a video game, not watching a movie. That is the problem. The thing I had another issue with is like Ellie. Okay, so for instance, for some reason, um, Naughty Dog just didn't want to focus on the cordyceps issue. They want to focus on characters. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool, but there's so much lore to like the cordyceps and the zombie mutations and stuff like that. But anyway, what I've seen was really,
Hmm.
I liked what I liked. I mean, I liked what I saw. I thought it was pretty good.
Surprisingly.
And it wasn't the end, but the acting is so fucking.
T-L-2.
What's going on? The acting was so on point that even if the story is leaked, it's worth the admission to see the acting that's in there. And what's in there is really bold. Really, 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 really bold. It's ballsy. But that's as far as I'm going to go with it. I hope for gameplay purposes that they have good gameplay and not just great acting and a good storyline. That's what I hope. But I will feel like it's worth the price of admission, since Naughty Dog wants to focus on games or game movies and story and not really gameplay. That I think at least the acting is going to bring you closer to it. Um, Alex, your take. You get the floor.
Well, I haven't seen the gameplay, so you can have my perspective of it. Well, the things I know is just the story is average. The gameplay is decent, I guess. That's what I heard. Factions got leaked also, and the ending got leaked, and
Don't
it's
mention
obviously
any.
sad.
Don't mention anything. Nothing.
I'm
Nothing.
not gonna say what happened. I'm just
No,
saying
no,
what
no.
got leaked.
Don't. Nothing. Not even
Oh,
the other part.
sheesh.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Uh, that's that happened. It's obviously sad. I played the game a lot, around 30 times. The first one, obviously. Very excited for this, and after all the delays, you can imagine how I feel right now. So, people just spoiling shit, and it's what it is. I think you just gotta accept it, move on, and
But do you think it's the be all end all of? I mean, a lot of people are really being like, it's a whole bunch of hyperbole about the game is basically done because it supposedly was leaked, right? What do you have to
Yeah.
say about that?
Well, personally, I just think,
Like, do
especially
you
with what
like let's
happened.
say that you knew the storyline and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
think it's going to be really like detrimentally leaked where you don't want to play the game anymore? I guess tell people that.
Mm, I'll still play it. I'll still play it, I
And
think.
that's the thing that I want to try to make people know. I will reiterate, I am not spoiling the game. Period. I'm not going to spoil it because I know this means a lot to people. But in terms of Sony being like, it's the be all, it's it for Sony. Realize this because there's going to be a lot of trolls on the Xbox room. This is not good for any game because I know Xbox people will be pissed off if this shit was Halo. Sony has made themselves an empire. They made themselves an empire by not relying on just The Last of Us. What they're trying to do
True.
with The Last of Us, and it kind of explains what I saw and what I heard, is that they want to make a universe, and they don't want to have the universe tied to any specific character because it's built into a real world scenario. Like how you have Mario, he's gonna live forever and ever, right? You have Master Chief, he's basically like not immortal, but he's gonna be for a long time. He's lasting for a long time. But since the Last of Us is based off of reality, they don't want to just have it focused on a character or two characters or three characters. What they're trying to paint is the world, that kind of world, which is why they're making the HBO special, which I believe from what I've read, is the reason why things are like that. Now, people saying it's mediocre, it's hard to read something. There's one thing to experience it, right? I'll give you guys an example. Let me just make sure I have enough time. I'll give you guys an example. If I explain, if you don't know anything about this channel, I am very highly perverted. If I explain to you how sex worked, oh, okay. So you take your penis and you put it in the vagina. It sounds dry, doesn't it? It doesn't sound that great. But actually having sex is a whole different experience. So if you're looking at the script itself, you can't base it off of the script and say it's corny if you haven't experienced it. It's a totally different situation. Experiencing it and reading it. What I saw is that the acting is so top notch. You can't get any better than that. And for that, I'll say this: no spoilers. It is worth the price of admission just to see the people perform. In the world of The Last of Us, there are going to be situations and things that you are not going to like. Period. That's just how ugly that universe is. And this is coming from somebody that do not like Neil Druckmann. I don't like where Naughty Dog is going with their games. And this is a big problem with people that sit there, or developers that sit there and focus on story. Make sure your game is an actual game. Even Quantic Dreams. If you play that game again, there's different outcomes. So you can play it again. If you worry about a linear story and with these specific set pieces and these specific things happening, this problem could happen. If it leaks, you're fucked. You worked all them years to make a story, and if it gets leaked because you're so focused on the fucking story, make a movie, motherfucker, make a movie. If that's the case. That's the problem that they have. It is still a game. Stop with the fucking movie shits. Everybody, and I've mentioned this before, everybody was upset about how I felt about The Last of Us. Oh, you're hating on the game, you're hating on the game. This is your problem. You like the game not because, oh, we're going to throw this back, my bad. You like the game. You like the game because of the story, not necessarily the gameplay. But I just want to make a short video. Let me know in the comments what you liked or disliked about the video. I made sure it was spoiler free. And hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I do this shit every Thursday.
The plot sounds like complete trash if you ask me.
I'm going to pause it. We don't know. I've mentioned this example before. And I'll say this and I'll end the video. If I explain to you how it is to have sex. If you're a man, you take a penis and you put it in a vagina and you just keep moving until something happens. It sounds dry as shit.
I love the gameplay, but story-driven games are by far the greatest games made today.
Now, if you have sex, that is a totally different experience from reading it in the textbooks as to what it is. You can't go based off a script, and I think that most people are going to sit there and they're going to be like, you know what, I want to experience it for myself, even if it is leaked. Just because of that, because they're big fans of that. Sony delayed the game not because it was unfinished or whatever the case is. They delayed the game because they wanted to make sure it gets the maximum sales. Since the retail people are closed off, well, I mean,
they have no choice.
They have no choice. They want to get the digital sales and they want to get the physical sales, so that when it comes out, they were like, "Go, The Last of Us sold 15 million units in 3 months and shit like that," because it looks nice for shareholders. That's why the game got delayed. Story-driven games could be great, but when it's leaked like this, then what else do you have if the story is leaked? That's why I always say this. Naughty Dog has been going on this trend by doing storyline games, and it's annoying to me. It is. Make gameplay. I can still play Crash to this day. I can still play Jak and Daxter to this day. And they are Jak and Daxter is story driven. But once The Last of Us was over and the multiplayer was done, I already know what happened. There's no other extra stories or anything else. That's my problem with Naughty Dog. But I just wanted to let you guys know, listen, from what I've seen, cutscene wise, it will be worth the price of admission even if it was leaked. Because of what's going on. Seeing something and doing something is completely different. Period. Anyway, hit the like button. Let me know in the comments what you liked or disliked about the video. Let me know also, or sub to me as well. I will really appreciate it. I do it every Thursday with the Gaming Pulpit. And I have a podcast giveaway on Saturdays. Peace out.
Peace.